What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on a story I heard like from George Lynch. Right, George Lynch was telling a story about Michael Jordan and one of their teammates that Michael Jordan kind of like Mike Jordan kind of cut him from the Chicago Bulls when the guy tried out for the Chicago Bulls, and he just kind of explained like how Michael Jordan held grudges, right? And so I'm gonna play this which George Lynch said on this podcast about Mike Jordan, and then I'm gonna give my input on what I think about what Mike did and how brutal it is at the NBA level.
Man, dog.
Let me see.
My roommate was from Virginia, Kenny Harris. Broke all the Virginia scoring records, but he was a guard. And, he wanted his guards to run the team. Not, you can't come in there if you're a guard and you shoot more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Coach Smith, like, I got 5 All-Americans.
Yeah.
You got to get them the ball. You can't come down. So he never could figure it out. The second year Mike comes back, that was when the Jordans came out. My roommate buys a pair.
Yeah.
We were about to play pickup, and he comes out there with the Jordans on. He hyped. Mike said, go take them off. He said, you're not playing unless you take my shoes off. Because he didn't get enough minutes. This cat transfers to VCU. I'm going to tell you how Mike is. He transferred to VCU, right? And then he's good enough to get to somebody's camp.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets invited to the Bulls training camp.
Okay.
So Mike sees him. So he telling me the story. He said, man, Mike would keep us at training camp. And then when everybody else got to go home, he said, young fella, you staying after. We're going to play one-on-one. This is after 3 and 4 hour practice of training camp. So he didn't get to go home and rest in between training camp. You're going 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
He said Mike made him play one-on-one every day. The last cut, Mike told him, if you'd have stayed at Carolina, you'd be on the team.
That's tough.
Man.
That's
And
tough.
Mike called the shot. Mike could have kept him on the team.
He could have kept him on the team, but hey, look, Mike hold grudges.
That is brutal, right? So Mike comes out and see that this guy got on a pair of his Jordans, and because this guy don't get enough playing time on the team, that Mike did not let the guy wear the tennis shoes. You can't. Mike said, we're not gonna play. Nobody's playing unless you take those shoes off. That's just brutal, man. That's brutal. And people could say, people say that Mike could be. I can see Mike doing this. When I heard the story about Mike not letting Horace Grant eat, like when they was on their private jet, on their private plane, not allowing Horace Grant eat because Horace Grant had like a subpar game. I could see Mike doing something like this, or the guy Jason, what's his name, Caffey, when they played for the Bulls, when Mike used to do different things to him, Mike, like Mike could be a jerk, and that's crazy. And so this guy went to North Carolina, very good basketball player. He probably didn't feel like he was getting the amount of, the time, and he wasn't developing in the way that he thought he could develop so he could, get to the next level. So he transferred out of North Carolina and went to VCU and still was able to get an invite, but he runs into Mike, and then Mike, man, that, you know what? Like when you're in a situation where your success depends on somebody else's approval, that's a tough situation to be in, right? Because you run into people like Michael Jordan or somebody like Kobe Bryant, and if you don't get the tap on the shoulder from these kind of guys, or LeBron James, if you don't get the tap on the shoulder from these guys, no matter how hard you work and what you do to develop your game and how much you study your craft, you know, that'll be a tough pill to swallow for anybody. You know, that's just tough. Um, and that's why when you hear people say that stars are made and not born, you know, that just goes to prove that that's true. You know, because somebody had to tap Michael Jordan on the shoulder. They had to tap LeBron James on the shoulder. Kobe Bryant, he had to get that tap from somebody, you know, because for every Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant that do make it, it's a ton of them that don't make it. You know, I remember hearing a story about the guy from Virginia who was in school the same time LeBron was in school, Lenny Cook. And I watched the documentary on Lenny Cook, and I watched some of his games, and Lenny was the real deal. You know, Lenny Cook, if he had not have made some poor decisions, you know, and not really, and he just focused more on basketball, he could have been, you know, he could have been in the league and he could have had some success. But the competition, and there's so many guys that can play basketball, competition is so tough that it only sometimes take one mistake, you know, for you to to take yourself out the game. Basically, it only take one mistake because, believe it or not, really, you know, they don't really have to put up with you. If they don't want you, it's like they can replace you with 100 other guys, with 1,000 other guys, right? And so for this guy to be in a situation, and this guy may not have even wanted to stay and work out with Michael Jordan, knowing that they're going to do 2 a days. So really, he doing 3 a day. So he working, you know, he working out with Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan the whole time probably knew he wasn't going to keep him, but he needed somebody to work out with or somebody to practice against. And so he used this guy like that. And that's a jerk move, man. I'm just telling you, when you have and you can't tell Mike no. You know, and Mike the kind of guy that, you know, and not just these some people, like when they have leverage and they know that you are in a position where you can't tell them no, they will abuse you if you allow them to abuse you. And that's basically what it was. Mike just abused them, and then you know, told him that if he had stayed at North Carolina, well, who's to even say if this guy would have stayed at North Carolina, he might not have even got off the bench or got enough time. Whereas though a camp, you know, like the Bulls would have brought him in. So you still, either way, you got to be your own man. You got to do your own thing. And when you run into people like Mike or LeBron or Kobe, man, um, you still gotta be your own man and stand on your own too, you know, because you know, these guys will use that leverage that they have, and you know, and I think like even when it comes to Michael Jordan, like some of the ways that Michael Jordan treated he treated Kwame, right? And you know, and Kwame Brown don't complain about it, but Michael Jordan, he was a jerk to a lot of people, you know, and so Kobe Bryant, you know, some people say that Kobe was a jerk to a lot of people, you know, to his teammates. Smush Parker said his locker was right next to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant never spoke to him. That's just crazy. That's crazy. You know, but I think, in my opinion, that kind of attitude and that kind of arrogance really catches up to those guys in the long run, and they wind up not really being all that that really all that happy. To me, and I love basketball. I like to play basketball, but I don't know, man. I'm just, you know, I couldn't get into it um to the to the uh to the level of like a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, you know, personally. And because I don't really think that it's necessary to have that type of you know, mentality. But again, I didn't play at that level, so maybe I don't know, you know, but yeah, well, I definitely don't know. So but yeah, man, it might just, you know, it's just another story to prove that, you know, when you have these elite athletes or elite basketball players, man, these guys can be jerks. And I think that was a jerk move, for Mike to make this guy practice and then cut the guy. You have that's why I'd never like to be in a position where my future depends on somebody liking me. You know what I mean? I just, that's why, I don't like that. I'm not comfortable with that. I like to work hard and stand on my own merits, man. I'm not, I don't have to. I feel I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I haven't had to worry about, even on a job. When I had jobs like kissing up to people, I could never do that. I don't have a problem with working hard and doing what it takes to get the job done and all this other stuff. But the politicking and having somebody, having to get somebody's approval, this just didn't never sit right with me. And so, yeah, I don't think, that guy probably never, after that opportunity, he probably never got another opportunity to go to a camp or, because I never seen him play basketball. I don't even remember him from playing at North Carolina when Lynch and them was there. So yeah, Mike was a jerk, and that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, also don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.